So much for this opportunity. We'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to be presenting Maple, the modernized agricultural production leveraging eco-solutions. We're going to be introducing ourselves now. So, hello, everyone. My name is Kevin.
My name is Wei.
My name is Jonathan.
And my name is Malik.
Together, we are the group that brought Maple to life. So let's go ahead and get started with introducing our subject for the case study. Dole is the world's largest fresh produce company present in 30 countries and supplying 75 of them. They have reportedly made $8.36 billion in revenue over the past 12 months. In addition to this, they are a vertically integrated supply chain focused on farm-to-fork accountability and putting quality first. They are also dedicated to continuous innovation and social environmental responsibility. More on the case study, I'll hand it over to Malik.
Thank you, Kevin. Dole PLC challenged our team to develop sustainable solutions for reducing excess and obsolete inventory, while also finding ways to enhance efficiency within the supply chain. According to statistics provided by Dole, an average of 3% of production becomes excess and obsolete. Alarmingly, 18% of this excess production ends in landfills. This significant amount of food waste directly contradicts Dole's core principles in conservation and social responsibility. To address this critical issue, we have developed a comprehensive solution that not only minimizes waste, but also aligns with our commitment to sustainable and ethical practices. I turn it over to Jonathan for our proposed solution.
Thank you. Our solution for Dole is the groundbreaking agricultural facility Maple, which stands for Modernized Agricultural Production Leveraging Eco-Solutions. Maple is a completely integrated production, distribution, and recycling facility that will utilize hydroponic technology to support 30% of Dole Canada's produce demand in a facility significantly closer than their current suppliers in Central and South America. In addition to growing fresh and high-quality produce, Maple will support sustainable packaging and distribution, as well as the recycling of any excess and obsolete inventory, and all in the same facility. Our recycling efforts allow us to guarantee that 0% of excess and obsolete inventory will be sent to a landfill. Instead, the waste is repurposed to support our agricultural operation or distributed to a variety of causes and organizations in both local and broader communities. As a whole, Maple's vertically integrated nature goes far beyond providing a solution for excess and obsolete inventory and looks to exemplify Dole's core values of continuous innovation and focus on people and the planet. Let's take a look at this first diagram. The majority of Dole suppliers can be found in Central and South America, thousands of miles from the market in question. Maple's most straightforward benefit is that the relocation of production for a planned 30% of Dole Canada-bound inventory to the site shown in this diagram creates a respective reduction in supply chain length and complexity. This allows us to account for and reduce not just Scope 1 and 2 emissions, which are those directly generated by operations and those from purchased energy, but the more elusive and often disregarded Scope 3 emissions. Scope 3 emissions, which are defined as emissions not directly created by the company, but instead indirectly connected up or downstream in their value chain, are significantly reduced as Maple gathers all emission-generating portions of operations into a facility far closer to the target region and completely under our supervision. Let's jump to Kevin with the breakdown of the interconnected technologies underlying our solution.
Thank you, Jonathan. The following components are what make Maple possible. At the core of this facility, we have hydroponics, providing a water-efficient method to crop cultivations, while geothermal technology offers a renewable energy source for maintaining optimal growing conditions. Compost supports nutrient recycling, enhancing water nutrients, and reducing waste. Cold storage ensures produce is preserved after cultivation. We have also carefully considered the effect of maple on agriculture and the opportunities available to workers in Central and South America. I'll now be moving forward to our hydroponics. This pilot program focuses on cultivating high-value crops, including strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and grapes, using innovative hydroponic methods. Housed in a state-of-the-art 1 million square foot facility, the program is designed to maximize efficiency, sustainability, and return on investment, aligned with Dole Canada's long-term business goals. The facility includes areas for cool storage to maintain freshness, a compost area to recycle organic material, and advanced hydroponic systems for resource-efficient cultivation. By growing locally in a controlled environment, the program reduces long-distance transportation costs, carbon emissions, and crop damage, extending shelf life by up to 30%. Stabilizing revenue streams. Supporting this operation is robust, sustainable infrastructure featuring automation tools and renewable power sources, which contribute to year-round yields on on-season prices. Together, these innovations position maple as a forward-thinking agricultural model capable of achieving profitability within 5 to 6 years and delivering an expected annual return on investment of 20 to 30% after full operational capacity, with a phased timeline of approximately 7 to 7.5 years. This project supports Dole's sustainability and growth objectives. At this point, I'll hand it over to Jonathan to discuss the process engineering behind geothermal energy.
Thank you, Kevin. We are very excited by the potential that geothermal energy holds in being a stable and zero-emission source of power for our agricultural operation. Geothermal energy takes advantage of natural underground reservoirs of heat to create power. Wells are dug about a mile deep, containing pipes that circulate a heat-exchanging fluid, as you can see in this diagram. The closed-loop geothermal energy system that we chose will be integrated into every aspect of operations, from supporting the hydroponic farming and maintaining safe temperatures for cold storage, to managing the climate and functions of the facility itself. There are two primary methods of generating geothermal energy, open and closed loop. The primary contrast between the two is that open loop systems use groundwater as the heat exchanger, which is drawn from nearby sources such as a lake, run through the system, and then treated and discharged. While cheaper and simpler to install, such systems are susceptible to degradation, while also creating an environmental impact due to the water they discharge. Closed-loop systems, like the one Maple will employ, rely on a continuously recirculated mixture of water and antifreeze, making them entirely self-contained and thus zero emission. They also provide more stable performance, critical for agriculture, as they are not impacted by the quality of groundwater. Malik will now share with us another critical part of our operation, which allows us to operate with zero waste.
Jonathan, thank you. Today, I'm excited to talk about our approach to sustainability through aerobic rotating composting. A rotating composting bin ensures that aerobic bacteria can thrive, transforming waste into nutrient-rich fertilizer through continuous rotations. The bromine 410, seen pictured above in the slide, is capable of producing around 12 tons a month, totaling to around 150 tons of compost per year per machine. This process can break down various materials, including paper, cardboard, and most importantly, our excess and obsolete inventory. We'll use our compost as a fertilizing agent during our hydroponics production by a process called seeping, ultimately reinvesting into the value of our berries. By selecting the right byproducts for composting, we can add value to our produce, potentially increasing our product value by an estimated 5 to 10%. All in all, we are capable of transforming waste into an asset. For instance, Dole's inventory in 2023 was recorded at around $379 million. By composting at least 8% of the inventory sent to landfills each year, we can estimate annual savings of $30 million. This money can prove to be crucial in reinvesting into supply chain efficiency, innovation, maintenance, sustainability, and much more. This initiative seeks to mitigate food waste by repurposing produce that would otherwise be destined for landfills. Our plan involves creating compost to manage the reduction of Dole's 18% excess and obsolete inventory. This compost will be recycled within our warehouse and utilized for hydroponic water solutions, rather than establishing a full-scale composting distribution center. This approach not only addresses waste reduction, but also enhances the sustainability of our operations by integrating organic recycling into our process. Additionally, our efforts help reduce Scope 1 and 2 emissions. By incorporating a recycling unit, electric vehicles, and the use of geothermal green energy, we plan to offset the carbon footprint accumulated from production and transportation. Lastly, our marketing strategy includes donating any leftover compost to the local community to further spread awareness for sustainable practices, inspiring the youth and the public to partner with Dole to help achieve our sustainability goals together. This not only supports brand recognition, but also opens new business opportunities and initiates sales. As we have found a solution to invest into our product, it's equally important to maintain the quality of our produce through effective cold storage solutions. Next, I will gladly present our plan for cold storage utilizing geothermal cooling within the Maple facility. Our facility features a 500,000 square foot cold room, which aims to cover about 30% of our Canadian production. By adopting a no waste mindset, we ensure that sufficient resources are allocated to prioritize supply chain efficiency and zero waste. We believe storage, which occupies at least 50% of our warehouse, is necessary in forecasting demand and being prepared for the unseen. This approach not only aims to minimize waste, but also enhances our overall operational effectiveness. Temperature control is a critical aspect of our cold storage solution. We will support temperatures between 38 and 46 degrees Fahrenheit to prevent spoilage and extend the shelf life of our products while idle. In terms of cost savings, our geothermal cooling system has proven to be highly effective. It is estimated that a $2,000 electricity bill can be reduced to $600 due to energy savings provided by the system. Initial system costs of $14,000 are repaid in a period of just 10 years. The estimated cost for this storage facility ranges from $110 million to $120 million. This estimate includes expenses for installation, doors, location permits, and electrical work. Additionally, the geothermal installation alone incurs a significant cost of an estimated $550,000 due to the complexity of the closed-loop geothermal system needed to power the facility. In summary, our geothermal cooling solution not only supports our commitment to sustainability, but also delivers us substantial and energy savings. This approach is a key component of our strategy to improve freshness and supply chain efficiency. Now let's move on to our proposed solution to further enhance our transportation operations. Next, I hand it off to Wilbert.
Thank you. So let's talk about how the Maple facility is set to change the game for Dual Canada's supply chain and why that matters. Right now, Dual's process for getting tropical fruit to Canada is pretty complex. We are grown in Central and South America, shipped by sea to the US, and then hauled by truck or train all the way to Toronto. It's a long, fuel-heavy journey that drives up carbon emission and costs a lot of money. With the Maple facility, we are looking at major shift by moving 30% of fruit production to a facility in Canada. We can cut down on those long distance routes. Shorter transportation means less fuel use, which translates to lower emission and smaller carbon footprint. Plus, we'll save on transportation costs, which helps the bottom line. Our solution is especially relevant given current geopolitical events, as the incoming US administration has announced a 25% tariff increase, making international exports increasingly expensive. By reducing reliance on imports from South America, Maple allows stores to avoid these additional costs and streamline operations. This is a win-win for Dual's sustainability goals and for managing expenses more efficiently. What's really interesting is how Maple tackles emission from all angles. Local production helps cut down emissions, not just from sea and land transport, but also from external sources like third-party suppliers. This means fewer emissions overall, covering both Scope 1 and 2, and even Scope 3 emission. With Maple, Dual will have more control, and that makes a big difference to reaching those ambitious sustainability targets. Now we've seen how Maple optimizes transportation. Let's shift focus to the opportunity and benefit to the Central and South America.
Thank you, Wilbur. Central and South America are main produce providers for most of the world, including Canada. With the transfer of 30% of production, we can repurpose unused land to grow new crops with longer shelf lives, many of which already cultivate a variety of crops to sustain themselves. In addition, providing guidance towards educational opportunities through advising, mentorship, or counseling can help locals overcome the disparity of farm work and find new and profitable opportunities in other fields in which would be in line with Dole's goals of community partnerships. We'll now be moving forward to our conclusion.
My team and I plan to revolutionize Dole's supply chain through our original Maple facility. This program is poised to transform Dole Canada's operations by significantly reducing excess and obsolete inventory, cutting CO2 emissions, and lowering transportation costs. Our goal is to ensure a carbon-neutral operation that seamlessly integrates responsibility with innovation. We invite you to join us in leading this change. By supporting our vision, you are contributing to a sustainable and greener planet. Maple is set to establish a new benchmark for sustainability in the agricultural industry, and together we can make a lasting impact. Thank you for your time and commitment to a more sustainable future. We are now open to any questions.
Okay, thank you very much for that very interesting presentation. Let's go to the questions. Dr. Wang, do you have questions for the team?
Well, it's really interesting case study, because when we are thinking about the supply chain solution, we would be put more focus on transportation, inventory, and even retailing area. But this case would be upward to the production and have the local production with new technology and energy saving and reduce carbon emission solution to have new kinds of solution. It's very interesting. And well, I don't know whether you have doing some cost evaluation, because with the new kinds of production technology, you mean I'm not really familiar with these words. And well, this production compare with the traditional production to have the strawberry or bananas, the final the cost would be reduced, or the final selling retailing price would be the same. I just have one question. Yeah, thank you.
So let me make sure I got the question right. You're asking, why did we approach it in a way that we moved everything towards Canada instead of changing the transportation? Yeah.
No, I mean, because you have you change the production location, and with different kind of technology, and whether the final retailing price for example, for the strawberry is the same compare with the traditional supply chain.
Okay. I think I might have gotten it. Okay, so pretty much what we tried to do is we moved strawberries, blueberries, all of these berries up north because it requires a lot of they're very delicate crops. What that means is that they need more attention to detail when it comes to transporting them, making them higher in cost. By moving it up to Canada, we are minimizing the amount needed to keep these crops away from any susceptible damage. And they are also easier to maintain in a hydroponic system because bananas tend to grow in trees. Everything that we've mentioned for our project is mostly vines or bushes, easier for a hydroponic plant. To add on to that, the reason why we decided to go with that instead of moving the transportation around is because there's very limited options when it comes to organizing ourselves with the transportation shipment, because the cheapest way to do it would be through boat. The quickest way would be through an airplane, but that's super expensive and ultimately will result in more costs than our maple facility. And which, yes, our maple facility in the beginning is going to have a really big toll when it comes to the amount of money required. But over the long-term goals, we are hoping to make a good amount of profit within the first 10 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wei. My questions are somewhere along the lines of that. It's about the feasibility, and we all mentioned that the high cost and also the technical risk of this solution. Have you done a study how feasible, as far as from the financial and the technical perspective, for something like this? I'm assuming this has never been done before at this scale, because you're talking about moving. This is a very large facility to do something like this in a Canadian environment. Is this have you looked at any other examples that this is that we can look at and say this is actually feasible and from an economic and technical perspective?
Yes, we have considered a variety of current examples of such technologies in the process of creating maple. They do exist all across the country and even in Canada, but the difference is that none of them are truly for profit as ours is. But there is like evidence that hydroponics can exist on a large scale and can generate large amounts of produce as needed. We do understand that it does require large capital expenditures in order to start up, considering, yes, the location that we chose to grow in and the different technologies that we plan to employ. But we feel that that is generally the case for solutions that are towards the cutting edge in terms of like the synthesis of technology, social responsibility, and that companies that want to be on the forefront of such change do need to like make bigger investments than ones that simply continue to use conventional supply chain methods. So there is a high startup cost, but it will pay itself out in the future, as we have talked about in our ROI and payback period calculations. And it also puts Dole in a position that makes it ready for social, political, and environmental changes that like other advancements in technology cannot account for.
Okay. And I think I want to basically this is a follow-up for Dr. Wong's question is, but what we're really concerned is the final retail prices. We know today we're all talking about cost of groceries and inflation. When you're talking about these berries and things like that, in your ROI calculations, have you compared the cost of producing the products in Canada in this facility when you're doing the ROI, the cost of production versus just buying it the way it is now? You have higher transportation costs, but your production costs should be much lower. Within Canada, you also not just the facilities, the labor costs, everything is higher. So have you kind of done that calculation? What would the impact on the retail price of these products?
So you're asking about the final retail price that customers in Canada would be paying?
Yes.
So we plan to ensure that our produce is available at the same price that they have expected from conventional supply chain methods. We don't want to like upcharge at all, even if we are making these advancements. And that would mean that Dole has to front perhaps losses in revenue as we start up this facility, as all the like early on capital expenditures take place. But like we said, that is the sacrifice that an organization has to make as they like start to experiment with more groundbreaking, less like
Yeah.
commonly used technologies.
So in other words,
as
what you're saying is using this facility, the production costs will be higher than, so the Dole would have to take a loss on these things, on the product itself versus the traditional way of just importing them, right? So because the I guess savings in transportation will not offset the cost of producing and the investment in these facilities. So it would be a very hard sell. I mean, I understand the benefits of the sustainability, but at the end of the day, if it's going to be produced in Canada and if Dole doesn't want to lose money, that would also mean that these products will go up much higher in price at the retail level.
Something that we would like to add to this is that our facility will be using renewable energy.
Mhm.
And with that, we do get incentives for sustainability, like rebates, grants, and tax write-offs and such. So we're hoping that those costs can reduce the amount of loss that Dole will face. And in addition to what my partner mentioned, yes, we would try to keep it at the same price. But then when it's off season, these imports are going to be much higher, and we just plan to keep them at the same level. as they always are, because it's being produced in the
Mhm.
same country. So that's going to be our leverage when it comes to getting that profit.
Mhm. Okay, well, thank you very much for all your questions. Thank you, Dr. Wang. The results will be announced on December 20th. Best of luck to you. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.